I felt like I've failed him, I've failed my mother. It was a setback in my life. Everyone, my name is Noreen, and today I'm going to talk about a miscarriage. What is a miscarriage? What are you supposed to do? Very many questions come up when something like that triggers your mind. However, when you go to the hospital, they will tell you it is not your fault. And yes, it is true, it is not your fault. But what happens? Look through the story. My own story this year. This year started in March. I was pregnant. I came to know about my pregnancy when it was 2 months old. I started antenatal, as every woman who is pregnant. Everything was going on very well with my supportive husband. Then at 5 months, I was working very well. Then it reached 5 months, I was okay. 5 months and a half, a day that I'll not forget. I was at office, doing my usual work, attending to some of our people at the office from Sekoda. But as I was attending to my last person, before I even forget, whenever you see something, if you're pregnant and you see something you don't understand, please reach out to your gynae. What happened that day? I saw I was having water, but I ignored it. Bloody water? Yeah, it was. Later on in the day, they will call it cramps, but I had back pain, abdominal pain. When I was working on my last client that I was working on, it all came as a blue. I couldn't stand, I couldn't breathe, I was sweaty, just like someone who is in labor. Yeah, someone might ask me, is it possible to have a miscarriage at 5? Yeah, it is very possible. It was so heartbreaking because we were so happy. We are going to be having 2 babies, a baby girl and then a baby boy. But all I could say that fateful evening, as I went to help myself in the washroom, that's where I got frozen, whereby I couldn't stand, I couldn't breathe properly, I was so sweaty. So I had to, as I was in the washroom, one of the people, big up Aunt Harriet, because as I was in the washroom, I couldn't stand, I couldn't do anything. I just sat down, just raised my hand and started doing a gesture of calling someone, so that in case someone sees that hand, they can come up and help me. And she's the lady who saw my gesture. She phoned me and she asked me what is wrong, what was going on, and the only thing I could tell her, I can't breathe, I can't stand very well. What she just did was like, what can I do? Can I call your husband? And I was like, yeah, that is the best thing to do. When calling my husband, we went to the hospital. How did we go to the hospital? He had to carry me outside the gate of the offices. We cabbed one of the safe boarders around, that was Peter, who worked as my ambulance, then straight to one of the hospitals in Wandegea, which I wouldn't want to mention names. When we reached there, I was taken into the emergency room to check me. They checked me. I was fine, pressure was okay, everything was okay. However, my cervix was open at 5 months. And the baby was already moving out. So what they did, because by the time they did all the tests, I could see that water is passing out very fast. As I went to help myself, the doctor came in and shouted, "Don't use the washroom anymore. You are going to lose the baby. You are almost losing the baby. So we are requesting you to just lay down." Now, this is one of the parts that people don't know when someone is is in the process of a miscarriage. First of all, it is painful in heart, real pain, which you cannot explain. Being told that I'm going to lose my baby was a blow. It was a blow because I looked at the doctors as I was like, no, this can't happen. you can do everything possible to save my baby. And was like, I'm going to try to save your baby. However, this is what is going on. Then earlier that evening, we were transferred to another hospital where I was supposed to be having the care from. With the same doctor, he made a transfer form for us to go. We went, reached, all doctors checked me. On checking me, they were like, you know what? We can't really save this baby because your cervix is already open. It is on 7 centimeters. Those can understand. And they were like, what? How come? How come it has traveled that fast? You know? Well, I was also surprised, and as they were, that fateful evening, the doctor did all the medical attention he had to do to me, with me, and then on my side, I had my husband, still not forgetting my husband. Then, faithfully, that evening, I passed through it, I kept the baby, but in the morning, they showed there was an improvement. However, they told me to stay on bed rest. Then we hoped that the service would go on closing slowly but slowly, which wasn't possible. That it was an evening, it was a Thursday evening, when the doctors told me they can't do anything because the baby was so close, 7.5, nearly coming to 8 or 9. Then as it was crossing to Friday, it was 12, actually it was Friday 29th, 12 a.m. That's when the baby came out, made his last breath. I still have that picture in my mind, him making the last gesture of breath. And then that's how I lost the baby. It was a blow. I felt like I'm ashamed to my husband. I couldn't keep the baby. I felt like I've failed him. I've failed my mother. It was a setback in my life. It was a big setback in my life, which I wouldn't want anyone to go through. Some of you would ask yourselves, would you bury that child? It depends. If it's culture, they do not let you bury that child if you are still in the process of conceiving. Because of what? I really don't know. Different people have different cultures. However, what I know, most people in those cultures, that bit, they do agree. Everyone saying you don't have to bury that child. So, which we also did. However, after that, it doesn't just erase in your mind. You still have those counts of the months when you're supposed to go into another month. You still have those countdowns and be like, okay, I was supposed to be 6 now. I was supposed to be 9. I was supposed to be 8. You still have the follow-up of the EDD and be like, when your EDD comes, you're like, maybe this was the day I was supposed to give birth. You feel like those first days were so hard, whereby I didn't want to move out of the house. I didn't want lights. I didn't want to talk to anyone. But thank you to everyone that passed around, that sent messages, those that prayed for me, because it was really challenging to get back on my feet. I felt like whenever I would sit on the bed, I'm hurting my baby. That is one of the things that kept me back. Like, I felt like it made me keep at home. I got that fear of moving out and face the world. But later on, with the support of my husband still, my husband, my mother, my friends who used to call, I got help from counselors. One of them was from Matoto. I had to talk to she's a she. I talked to her about it. But there is one thing I would like you people to know: no one will ever understand what it means to go through something unless that person has gone through something, that very thing. What do I mean? Most people will come up and tell you, I do understand what you're going through. They don't. They do not understand until they go through that. Now, when someone talks about a miscarriage, I do understand what they go through because I've had one. But what do I have to tell you, my dear friend who has had one? You don't have to lock yourself behind the doors. Look at me. I've managed to come out. It's the same year, but I've managed to come out. If you don't have a friend, always reach out to us. Reach out to this. Just put a comment down. At least we shall reach out to you and talk to you about this. But don't lock yourself indoors because one, they see you as an outcast. Yes, I've had that feeling whereby I feel like people are seeing me as an outcast. But one thing I want you to know: you are not an outcast. You are blessed. You are loved. And you are highly favored. For that child to get out, it wasn't your mistake. And it is not your fault. It is because there is a reason. Which reason I also don't know, but God knows better. And if you trust the Lord will show you his plans and will have something better for you. That is something that has kept me going, and it raised me up, brought me back on my foot, and here I am. Now, I know some of you would be asking, what are the signs and symptoms? Well, how do you get to know that you're having a miscarriage? Yeah, one of them is if you see blood, if you feel like you are having cramps. When I talk about cramps, you do understand. Cramps. Okay. So, what do I mean by cramps? The back pain, the abdominal pain. Please run to the hospital. Please run to the hospital. Pregnant women in early stages, if you are a work addict, get rest, especially that early semester, first semester, trimester is so delicate. Get rest as much as you can. If it needs you to have 2 months down for you to stabilize pregnancy, it's very okay. Take those months. You will get the other months later. You'll work, you'll compensate for those months later, because the feeling of losing a child is really so painful. It is heartbreaking. You never stop to count and never stop. They say that you have a baby and then it will fill that gap. No, it never fails. Every child is different. But please and please and please take that rest. Eat well. Do not overwork yourself. The moment you overwork yourself, it can lead to a miscarriage. If you are not eating well, it can lead to a miscarriage. Those are some of the things that can lead to a miscarriage. But I'm all now okay. I'm fine. Everything is now okay. I trust the Lord. I'll have another baby. Though it cannot replace the other baby, it can't replace, because every child is different. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for the viewers, those that have subscribed. My name is Chomhanji Norim. For the new viewers, this is the page called Get Inspired. It will inspire you in various ways. I would like you to subscribe so that you are able to receive each and every new episode. Please press the subscription button. Or anyone wants to meet me and talk about it, if there is anyone who is having that challenge, please reach out to the comment section. You can write you can write anything that you feel like writing. Like if you're inquiring about something, we shall be there to answer all those questions. And we shall also call you. You can reach us out on this very page. You can inbox us, and then we shall reach out to you. For anyone who has an inspiring story, kindly also reach us. Thank you very much. Blessed week. Bye bye.